Hey, how's it going guys? Welcome back to the channel. Crimsonpanda here with another patch note video. Now we have 25.0 patch notes today and we don't have a lot of stuff for mercenaries, but we do have a new mercenary that I want to go through and theory craft a little bit. So let's head over and check out what mercenary that is. Okay, so here we are. The new mercenary we have is Chromie. Now Chromie, if I can remember, is a time manipulating gnome. So this is going to be similar to Toki, where you can do some sort of things to do with time. Chromie will be obtained on the 25.0 reward track, so you'll get this for free on the 6th of December once the March of the Lich King expansion is live. So that's cool that you get this for free. It is an epic, so there will be no diamond skin for this. You can see here all of the skins that are rotating through. You'll be able to obtain them in... you'll get them through packs at the end of some sort of cycle, or if you pay for the reward track, you will obviously unlock the skins as you progress through that. So let's just take a look at the abilities and the equipments for Chromie. So Chromie is a gnome, a 484 max stats, and the abilities are Rewind, Arcane Speed 8, deal 17 damage to a character, Death Blow, its neighbors go last next turn. Okay, so this is telling me from this ability alone that this is not an opener mercenary. This is Arcane, which we know has a lot of bench spell damage buffs, so you can play this on a bench as a red protector, which is quite nice. You don't really see reds coming in off the bench very much, other than support units like Karen and Bane. So having a arcane ability in the late game could be pretty cool. Dealing 17 damage with longs in, maybe that goes to in its 30s, possibly in its 40s. Being able to get a death blow off and then being able to speed the hell up next turn. If they're going last, the neighbors go last, and you end up killing the mercenary, because you will, because it's a death blow, then there's only going to be one mercenary faster than you, possibly the turn after. So really nice to see that this could have a bench setup for some like really easy wins in the late game. So that's how I feel that would work anyway. You could probably bring this out in an opener and deal 17 damage to a minion potentially, and then slow the other units down, but I kind of see that as a bench with that ability. Okay, moving on, we got Reading Chromie. So we got Arcane 6, cooldown 1, deal 22 damage, and then gain +5 damage for each time you cast an ability with a higher speed than this. So this mercenary is kind of helping out the slower units, being able to gain advantages or buffs from having slower mercs. So dealing 22 damage is pretty good at 6 speed, to be honest. Arcane again, so you can scale this, and then gain +5 damage each time you cast an ability higher than this. So once again, if this is on the bench and you've casted some 7 speeds, some 8 speeds in the start of the game, then this might scale from the bench. Hopefully that is the case, and if that is the case, then this could go quite crazy. But at a 6 speed, you will need to speed up in the late game or slow your opponents down. So very interesting. Kind of annoying that's not an AoE and with a little bit less damage, so that you can kind of scale up a big AoE in the late game, but still very good for what it is. Next up, we have changed the timeline. So yeah, definitely to do with time. And we got Arcane Speed 5, so the fastest ability. Cooldown 2, never great. Gain +20 health for 2 turns. Abilities with higher speed act first and starts off cooldown. So this can use turn 1. Gain 20 health, so it's going to put you to 104 health straight away just with this ability alone. And then for 2 turns, your abilities with a higher speed. So you'll actually be able to cast this first ability pretty quickly. For 2 turns, abilities with a higher speed act first. So that's for 2 turns as well. So this is going to be a very interesting ability. Being able to speed up those slow units, not having a Valera or anything else that usually goes quick go first. Having the higher speeds acting first is going to really mess up a lot of comps. So playing this early with just this, when everybody is still playing meta comps, you could really get some sneaky little fun comps go in with just this alone. It is going to shift the meta a little bit, I think. Once people realise that this is going to be in the meta for a little while, then maybe they can counter queue. But until then, this is going to have some very fun games at the start, and I cannot wait to get some videos out on that. What could we use it for? So having a higher speed act first, we could do like 10 speed stuff, which will be insane. Being able to do a 10 speed first instead of last. You know that the higher speeds, the more broken the ability sometimes, other than Trigor. But being able to go fast at a ridiculously high speed is going to be great. So if they're going to use a unit that's going to slow you down, that's going to even increase how fast you go in the next 2 turns. That's really cool. The only annoying thing here is that you have to use that ability for that to work. So you have to use that ability turn 1, and then for 2 turns, abilities with a high speed go first. I want to know if that's going to be straight away once you cast this ability. So say you use this ability at 5 speed and then you've queued up like a 6 speed. Maybe the 6 speed goes faster than their 3 speed or their 5 speed. I'm not sure how that would work. Obviously their 3 speed would go faster before this, so that wouldn't work. But that's going to be very interesting. Right, let's look at the equipment. So we have Strike at Midnight, Battlecry, activate, change the timeline for turn 1. It goes on to cooldown for 2 turns. So it gets the cooldown for 2 turns, but it's already active. So, oh, you don't even have to waste using that. So you can have this off a Battlecry. So you can Battlecry activate, change your timeline. That activates straight away. So you already gain off a Battlecry the plus 20 health. And then your slow speed stuff goes. So that actually gives you the ability to maybe cast this first one first. Dealing 17 damage to a character in Death Blow. If you can get units going fast but technically slow, so if you're using 8 speeds and 9 speed abilities to try and chip down some stuff, you may even be able to benefit from Rewind on turn 1, killing a unit at 8 speed. If you're using a 10 and a 9 speed before that, this is then going to go third. Hopefully Death Blow something in the middle, hits the 2 neighbours so they go last next turn, and then you don't feel too sad on turn 2 using something else that might be a little bit slower because you know they're going last. So that's very interesting. There's going to be a lot of theories with that as well, definitely. Speaking of theories, we have Chaos Theory. So the first time this merc dies, rewind to the start of the turn and give your characters 8 health. Okay. Rewind to the start of the turn and give your characters 8 health. I guess everything still happens. Like, say you accidentally... Say you're trying something and it doesn't go your way. You lose a speed tie, you lose something, and you're like... Bugger, this has died. You get to rewind that turn and then go again. Hopefully you win the speed tie that turn. Hopefully it's not just going to be based on speed ties, this ability or this equipment. Hopefully it's going to be something like, maybe something did go your way like a local R. Maybe the RNG of his hits could have done better. Maybe you just needed to hit one mercenary twice and it hit it only the once. This then dies as a repercussion to that, and then you get to start the turn again. There's going to be a lot of things. Maybe your unit that you didn't want to die did die, but if you rewind the turn because this died and give it 8 health, maybe it survives. Another way of looking at it. Very interesting again. Very deep thoughts on these mercenaries, to be honest. And then we have the body, which is start of the game, give your gnomes plus 10, plus 20. Wow. So you could actually change the timeline on turn 1 and gain 20 health, and gain an additional 20 health and 10 attack from this here. The attack doesn't really matter with this merc because it doesn't attack unless you're sending it in with like the Murloc or whatever. But 10 plus 20, you're going to actually have, what's that, Scabs is going to be quite interesting with an extra plus 10, 20. Scabs might be playable now. I mean, he was pretty good. He was kind of underrated in my opinion. With the stealth stuff, getting the buff, it did see play. So maybe this is going to bring Scabs back. This helps Nemzi. Nemzi's a gnome. Nemzi's going to obviously have extra stats and extra attack, so that's kind of cool. Nemzi was hard to kill anyway with the boggy, so giving Nemzi extra stats is very interesting. All in all, nice mercenary. Great that you get it for free on the 6th. What day is it? The 29th today, so this is actually going to be free in, what, a week? 7 days, so that's cool. Next Tuesday we will be playing this. I'm going to grind this to crazy, try and get some PvP games out. I definitely want to try it in a lot of different stuff. I want to definitely try it in a very slow opener or a very powerful arcane bench for sure. So keep a lookout for that on ladder. Hopefully you guys will try the comps out as well that I post. But yeah, so we get that on the SIP. So let's take a quick look at some of the bugs that were hopefully fixed in the game as well. Okay, so here we are with some of the bug fixes. We'll just read through these really quick. So fixed a bug where... Oh, I missed one. Fix a bug that you could lock players into a bounty if they had an active bounty with a mystery node when the mystery stranger was removed from the story mods. Okay, so people were getting stuck into bounties, which has been fixed now that the mystery stranger has been removed. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I couldn't even think of that. Imagine you were there queuing up for a mystery stranger but wanted to wait because you wanted to get a new mercenary, for example, and then they took the mystery stranger out but you've still got it on your screen. That'd be annoying. Fix the bugs where completing a heroic bounty will not count for tasks requiring a normal bounty completion. Fair enough. If it doesn't say heroic, you just assume it's normal. If it says heroic, then obviously you have to do heroic. So, yep. Fix the bug when Nuru Fireblade Implosion only deals damage once. Okay, there was a bug where he was multiply dealing damage. So that's good that they've gone back to actually what it is supposed to be on the card text. And then fix the bug where PvE enemies would go first in speed ties. So I actually didn't notice this because I haven't been doing a lot of PvE. But having a speed tie going up against a computer where they always win that would feel bad. So yeah, definitely either make that back to the RNG is kind of what I'm hoping they've done, or maybe let the player go first. You know, if you're queuing up a speed tie, then you should probably go first being the player. It will just make those bounties a little bit more easier for players that are new to the game. But hopefully that doesn't then confuse them for PvP where they think they're always going to go first. It should always be RNG if it's PvP. But yeah, PvE, you should definitely get the advantage because you're the one actually playing against the AI. So good that they fixed that. Hopefully people will start seeing that actually be implemented. Okay, so that is unfortunately it for Mercenaries. Not a lot to cover in this patch note. Hopefully we will get some more Mercenaries after Chromie makes an appearance. Yeah, comes out on December 6th, so that's when we get Chromie. Hopefully you guys will obviously log in, claim it, try and grind her up, and then hopefully I'll see a lot of Chromie builds in PvP. Hope you enjoyed this patch note video. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one.